finally did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waikiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaikikiWaterpark.com.
Winter's arrived. I'm with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. And I know you have some great specials right now.
Yes, we do. Get an Arctic Start remote system, which we feel are the best in the business, from just $369. From the Ultra Simple with a range of 1,500 feet to LCD remotes that have a range of 1 mile, to our drone mobile unit, where your smartphone will start your car from anywhere on the planet.
Technology is just amazing, isn't it?
That it is. And right now, save up to $40 on a set of Toyo Celsius 2 tires, what we think are simply the best tire for our area. A 60,000-mile rated year-round winter tire. It's an absolutely amazing tire for South Dakota.
So winter performance, and you leave them on all year long?
You got it. These tires will perform way better in winter weather than a typical all-season radial. Stop in or call, and we'll go over all the Toyo tire and remote start options available, and we'll do it with the best prices in the area.
See anytime.com, and of course at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
The Miami Dolphins today fired head coach Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons, but NFL media reports that the Detroit Lions have already reached out to McDaniel about their offensive coordinator job. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers today fired offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard, as well as special teams coordinator Thomas McGahee. The Baltimore Ravens have interviewed Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph and Broncos offensive assistant Davis Webb for their head coaching job. They've also requested an interview with 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. The Cleveland Browns are interviewing incumbent offensive coordinator Tommy Rees, as well as incumbent defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz for their head coaching job. And Chicago Bears receivers Rome Odunze and DJ Moore are off the injury report and are full goes for Saturday's wild card game against the Green Bay Packers. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Let's get ready to go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is live. Welcome in. It's always a great day in South Dakota. How are you? The Nate Brown Show is back on Fox Sports Radio. Fox Sports Sioux Falls, welcome in. Also Fox Sports Rapid City. Let's get going tonight. We got college football playoff. We got some good stuff tonight. Everybody's wondering why the college football playoff's on tonight. When else are we going to do this? We got a game tonight. We got a game tomorrow. Let's get after it. It is Thursday on the Nate Brown Show, and we've got a great guest lineup from high school to college to the pros. Looks good tonight. And it is Thursday happy hour. Rob Keighron's ready, a little double hitter of Rob Keighron this week. So we had him on Monday. Now we got him back on Thursday. Second hour full with Thursday happy hour with Rob Keighron coming in. So hang tight. Rob's on his way. We've got an hour to pack in, and let's do that. John Brice is coming up tonight from the college football playoff. He's the national writer for footballscoop.com. You got Miami Ole Miss tonight, and then Indiana, Oregon tomorrow. Really good stuff. I like both of these semifinal games. John Brice is on, his take on that and more. Footballscoop.com, national writer on the college football playoff. We will go to Matt Zimmer. Matt Zimmer getting set to go to Brookings, but we've got him tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com covers SDSU and the South Dakota sports scene. Matt Zimmer's in from Sioux Falls Live tonight. James Merilatt's on, talking Broncos #1 seed and the NFL playoffs. I'm on his read on who's the scariest team in the AFC, the NFC. James Merilatt's in. denversports.com. 104.3 The Fan. James Merilatt also on tonight. Good lineup across the board. Thursday happy hour upon us shortly with Rob Keighron. First things first, let's get you on. 605-720-1067. We'll do our best to put you on the program. Sometimes you got called when I'm going to break, so just a heads up. We're trying to get you on. We'll do our best we can. Join the conversation, 605-720-1067. That is the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. Location is outstanding in Brandon. Great Fun Zone Arcade. Huge arcade for the kids. East 10th Street, Sioux Falls is outstanding as well. Drop by the Pizza Ranch. East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and in Brandon tonight. Home of everyone's favorite buffet. Also, the Barons-Wilson text line ready to go. Text us on the Barons-Wilson text line. Same number, 605-720-1067. We don't have any other text line. We don't check any other. We got it right here on the app. So just so you know, if you've been sending stuff wherever into the stratosphere, you got to get us on the text line to be a part of this buffet a day giveaway. We're giving away a buffet to the audience on the text line, courtesy of Pizza Ranch, and we want to set you up with that. We had a good winner last night. We got all sorts of listeners on this program. We got males, we got females, we got everybody. And congrats to our female winner yesterday. Good stuff. I'm telling you, South Dakota Sports Talk. Everybody wants to be a part of this show, and you can win the Pizza Ranch Buffet tonight if you answer our question of the day on the text line, 605-720-1067. That is set. Okay. Let's go with college football playoff really quick, and then I'm going to go to this comment that was made by a former Denver Bronco and former Michigan Wolverine. You guys would know this guy. He's on the Big Ten Network now. And it was really interesting what he had to say today, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to get to that. First, let's go to this scenario in the college football playoff. I'm going to ask you guys a question. This is just for the listening audience right now, right here. This isn't my question of the day, but I do have a question for you as we start. With Miami taking on Ole Miss tonight, Indiana taking on Oregon tomorrow, does this give you new excitement at all in watching the college football playoff? What do you mean by that, Nate? I mean, it's not Clemson again, Georgia again, Ohio State again, Alabama again. There were some years there. There were some years there where it was just the same teams over and over. I mean, we essentially, I'll give you Oregon's been in there a little bit. We got 4 new teams here. Nobody thought, I mean, you can't say you thought the Hurricanes would be back from the Michael Irvin days, and then they got good again, Ken Dorsey, Willis McGahee. I mean, that whole stretch there. You didn't think the Miami Hurricanes would be back in this mix? I really didn't. So I don't think you guys thought really, truly, in this new age of college football that Miami was going to be able to break into Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, that scene, Clemson. Ole Miss, you never would have thought. We aren't going to have Ole Miss in a Final Four trying to play for a national championship. And then the furthest one is Indiana and Kurt Cignetti. I mean, that's the best story you can have in college football. Indiana from the depths of nothing. They were bad. Not quite Colorado Buffalo's bad, but they weren't even as good as Colorado back in the 90s. At least Colorado had a time where they were pretty good, 80s, 90s. Indiana's been bad the whole time. I mean, they've been absolutely terrible. And now they're the number 1 team with a Heisman Trophy winner, and they're in the college football semifinals. Oregon, I'm going to tell you, they started breaking in Marcus Mariota. They got the Nike money. They started breaking into that crowd. But I'm just asking you, the audience tonight, do you have a new sense of, I'm more interested in the college football playoff because some of these new teams, I'm in this side of it. I don't have a new interest because I've been a huge college football fan. I'll give you where I'm sitting on this. I'm a huge college football fan, have been for a long time. So I like college football as good as the NFL. There's not as many people like me. There's some people that, I like college football, the Huskers and the whole thing, but I like college football as good as the NFL. Does this give me a new sense for, oh, yeah, this is more interesting to watch. I want to see Indiana. It's a new, fresh approach here. Does that give you something? And does that prove? What does this prove? What am I getting at tonight? The name, image, and likeness money that's been floating around. Has this led to other programs getting money and taking down some of the powerhouse programs that have been in control? So we can rail against this, we can hit this and hit that, and I hate the NIL and the transfer portal mess. Has this led to Indiana, Ole Miss, Miami back in the in this even in this discussion? Not back in the discussion, even in the discussion. It is a reality we should talk about at least. Do you get this Final Four this week without name, image, and likeness money, and is that okay with you? Thanks for calling tonight. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. What do you say?
Good. I like it. Like, that's one of the benefits of NIL. It's not all positive, obviously, but and I saw a headline today. I didn't read the whole article, but it sounds like Mark Cuban is funneling a bunch of his money into Indiana.
Yes,
and
yes.
That's one of the reasons why they're able to do what they're doing. But I absolutely love Curt Cignetti. Like I've not been an Indiana fan. I'm not from Indiana, but just everything about he's just rubbing the SEC's face in.
Yes.
Like, look what you did. Look what you did.
I'm with you on that. I like his personality. Yeah. He's tough. He's gritty. I like Cignetti. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like seeing him run up the score on some of these programs that have been so incredibly blessed over the years, I just can't get enough of it. I hope they win.
I'm with you on that. I'm pulling Indiana. Appreciate you, man. I am pulling Indiana. Thanks for getting in. Just so you're aware, who am I rooting for now? I was rooting for Alabama, and that's hard for me to say, but it's the Keighron DeBoer connection. So it's like you can't root against Keighron DeBoer, South Dakota guy, and then they just get housed by Indiana. And now I'm like, you got to root for Cignetti in Indiana. Who's not? I mean, I'll even pull for Ole Miss because of the mess they were left in. So it's kind of like, hey, that would be funny if it's Ole Miss, no Lane Kiffin, they left. I would love to see that team rub that in. And then Indiana. So those are the two teams I'm pulling for. I want Ole Miss tonight. I do want Indiana tomorrow. And I'm asking you if you think these matchups provide a new energy, kind of a fresh perspective of college football viewing. My guess is this. Some of you are going to say, yeah, I like it, like McJudgerson there. I like it. New teams, yes, I want that. I still have a feeling most of the country really doesn't care. They just want the best teams. And it turns out now these are the best teams. That's the difference between the NIL era and what we used to have. You could say, well, how did Ohio State and those guys dominate then? They had everything. I mean, they had all the money. They had all the facilities. That's the only place you wanted to go was Ohio State to stay in this. I want to get to the playoffs, so I'm going to Saban. I'm going to Ohio State. I'm going to Georgia. Now with the NIL changing the scenario, it's balanced, and so this is the only, I'd say, one of the only silver linings for me of the NIL era. It allows Indiana to take Mark Cuban's money and just stay in this thing. So is that great? Does that make me feel great that Mark Cuban is bankrolling Indiana? I guess I don't really care, but it is interesting how this new scene in college football has allowed the scenario to play out with Ole Miss and Indiana on the verge of a national championship. Does that provide more energy, more interest to you? Some texts coming in. I'd like to see your answers on this. Are you more interested? College football playoff starts tonight. Miami, Ole Miss. Listener text, absolutely I am. Miami about didn't make the dance, and now they have a chance to win the whole thing. This is the most excited I've been to watch the playoffs since its inception. So that's interesting, because I do think college football has had a problem where you'd get to the end and we already knew who was going to be there. That was the other factor on this. You'd be in the playoff scenario and you'd get there. Here's the Final Four. Oh, who is it? Who broke in with Ohio State, Georgia, and Clemson, or Alabama? That's the way it was, and you just knew it was going to be that way. So I'm with you on that. That guy says the most excited he's been. I like that. Listener text. New teams, new energy. Very excited tonight. Lister text, with all the storylines in the Final Four, how could you not be interested in the games? Plus good football teams. Lister text, happy there's new teams in the playoffs. Wow, I'm interested. This is interesting to me. South Dakota sports fans saying you're actually more interested in tonight and tomorrow. That's interesting. I didn't think a bunch of people would really care. It's like, it's the playoffs, so I'll watch the games anyway, but you're more interested with Ole Miss, Miami, Indiana, Oregon. That's interesting. I'm all in. I am all in. Let's see. I do want to tell you what was said today about this scenario. So, Jake Butt, do you remember that guy? You remember Jake Butt? Tight end, Michigan, went to the Broncos, got injured the whole time. One of the many tight ends my Broncos have drafted over the years that didn't quite work out. But nonetheless, Jake Butt played at Michigan, great college player, NFL career fizzled out because of injury, the whole thing. He's an analyst for the Big Ten Network. Here's what Jake Butt says, even about Indiana, even about Miami. He says this about all of the college football teams that make it to the top. Quote, there really isn't unlimited money in college football like people think. It may appear that way. There's definitely many wealthy donors, but this money isn't going to be recycled. It's not sustainable business model. NIL, as it's laid out, is still donation-based, and these donations simply coming in at $20 to $40 million each year when the only return to those investors is getting to see their favorite team maybe win is not sustainable. So this goes to a little bit of a discussion we were having last night. Is the NIL situation sustainable? You got players that are leaving for bigger deals, and the Washington QB signed a deal roughly around $4 million, and then that might not have been good enough, and now he's trying to leave, and his agent just dropped him. And so Jake Butt's saying, here's what he's saying in that paragraph today. All this money coming in, even from the richest of the rich, all the donors, the alums, they have passion, but will they keep this coming? Mark Cuban said he's going to keep the money flowing again for Indiana next year. Well, that's Mark Cuban. How many other programs have Mark Cuban? I don't know. I mean, that's what Jake Butt's saying. He's saying, you can keep saying this is going to keep happening. Yeah, what's $30 million a year? We can bring that in, no problem. Jake Butt's saying this scenario will not work every single year for your team maybe to win. So he's saying if Miami gets beat tonight, if Oregon gets beat tonight, or tomorrow night, those donors are going to start getting fatigue and they may not hit the number every single year. Does he have a point? I do wonder. I really do wonder. Thanks for getting in. You're live and you go ahead.
I am excited for the new teams in the playoffs.
You are?
Yeah, but it's kind of cheating to get there, isn't it?
What do you mean?
All right,
what do you mean?
Who's got Mark Cuban's money?
Indiana.
Well, no. Who else in the country has got Mark Cuban's money?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I got that.
You know, it's cool, but they should have capped that. And we talked about that 2-3 years ago on your show.
Yes.
That there had to be a cap. There had to be something with the transfer portal. And
I am with you.
It's just open market.
I am with you on that. You have to have a cap to make it fair, and they will not ever. So now, is Indiana as good a story? They got Mark Cuban's money. Do we still feel good about that? I guess.
I do, because, come on, we're talking Indiana football. It'd be like Rapid City Stevens or Rapid City Central playing in the state high school championship.
How about that?
Hey, I want to throw something else out. Have you ever done a research on how many of the peer football players went on to play big college football, and Nebraska never mentioned them, or tried to recruit him. I saw Zabel. Now, I saw that kid. I repped him when he was a ninth grader in basketball.
No,
and he's starting for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah. So you said
he's a first-year rookie.
Yeah, you said
Nebraska didn't even contact him, and they didn't even go after Lincoln, which you talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
How could you not? They're so close.
No, I got it, man. I haven't done that study, but we did a little one right there. Appreciate you. Thanks for getting on.
Have a great day.
All right. Thanks for calling in. That's interesting. Interesting stuff. Let's see here. Does Jake Butt have a point? Is this sustainable? I don't know if it is. People, I mean, we have no idea how rich donor bases are. Indiana has the biggest alumni base. I did not know that. So as I'm kind of working through this college football season, you start seeing Indiana. You know how many times I bet against Indiana this year? Just a few. I was the first guy that was like, Indiana, come on. Last year they made it to the playoff. They got beat easily. Come on. And I lost a little bit. And now Indiana's on the verge. And here they are. They got Mark Cuban's money. Mark Cuban, can he bankroll Indiana football every year? Probably. But as the last caller stated, does everybody have a Mark Cuban? Now we're talking like big-time money now. So can Miami keep this up if they, lose? Can these other teams that lost early keep this up like Alabama? So I'm serious. Can Alabama keep this up without getting to the national championship and winning? That's what Jake Butt's saying. He's saying there's not enough rich people to keep this model up of spending $40 million every single year on a roster. That's what he's saying. So, coming right back with John Brice. He knows a lot about this. I'm going to ask him that. Is this sustainable? Or teams going to recycle every year? Are we going to cycle in new teams every year? Maybe. And maybe that's what fans are okay with. Well, this team has the money. This team has the run this year. Maybe we're okay with that. John Brice, national college football writer from the playoff tonight. Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's your pricing goes and Ensemble Entry Doors. Get 20% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Pay nothing till 2027. Plus, get an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. If you've been thinking about replacing those drafty, outdated doors or windows, now is the time. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? I think so. Hills Federal Credit Union. We help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Welcome back. Dreaming of new teams in the college football playoff, and you got them. You got them. Miami, Ole Miss tonight. I'm ready. We had listeners texting in. I asked you, how excited are you for the new teams in the playoff, really? There's a ton of people excited here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. That's good stuff. Good stuff. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. John Brice covers the college football playoff. Footballscoop.com, where you can find John's work. Footballscoop.com. John, welcome in. I asked my audience, how excited are you really about some of these new teams in the playoff? A ton of response. What do you think the pulse is like with some of the new teams, Miami, Ole Miss, Indiana, and even Oregon?
Yeah, I think it helps, Nate. I think people had sort of grown weary of the whole SEC Dominion narrative, especially featuring Alabama and Georgia. So, and now Ohio State and Michigan had been staples, and they're both gone. So I think that people are marveling at the story that is Indiana football. It's truly, we throw around the word unprecedented a lot. I'm guilty of it, but it truly is unprecedented what the Hoosiers are doing. And Ole Miss hasn't done anything like this in modern era football. Oregon is a really SEC-like program on the West Coast, but they had dipped a bit, and Miami hadn't been there in a quarter of a century, really. So I think people are intrigued by it, and I think the TV numbers, especially last weekend, reflected as much.
Okay, so here's a comment that was made, and I just started my show with it, by Jake Butt, former Michigan tight end, went to the Broncos, didn't have an NFL career, got injured. He said the unlimited money in college football is really not unlimited, and the NIL model is based on donations every year, and he said this isn't going to be sustainable. It's impossible to have $40, $50 million checks written every year when investors may not get a return on their investment. Their team might win, but they might not. Do you think he has a point?
I do. I think that the ROI is key. And look, Texas Tech, for all its history that it accomplished this season, didn't win a single playoff game and spent, by all accounts, about $51 to $54 million on that roster and is already spending lavishly again on its 2026 roster. And so eventually they'll get tired of that, or they will make changes or what have you. So I do think that right now it's guns blazing Wild West. We heard it a few years ago when they first just sort of opened the gate to NIL and then didn't have any guardrails up, that, oh, well, they're spending crazy now, but sooner or later the market will correct itself. Well, quarterbacks are getting more money than ever before right now in the NIL marketplace, and while teams may get frustrated at not winning, they also see new blood in there that you just referenced, and that makes them want to spend the same.
Okay, so I worked in college athletic fundraising, and so I have a point on this. I'm like, I used to raise money for scholarships. I was at a D2 institution, and it was scholarships for student athletes, and the opportunity, athletics was a ticket to their success at that university, and it was a great story to our alums, and this is why you want to support it at the D2 level. So if these guys are going out there getting huge dollars. It's only about, I think, the donors saying, man, we want to win. We want to be a part of a national championship. So when they're not, what is the point of giving to NIL? How do you keep the money coming in? Can you?
That's the big question, Nate, especially because colleges want that money to still come into their coffers so that they can direct it not only for NIL projects, but capital enhancements, capital campaigns, new facilities, all of those things. You do still have to provide some rev share for your other sports on your various campuses, even if the lion's share is going to the football program. So I do think that, again, there will be a course correct, but I just don't think we're to that point yet because people are seeing that spending money and spending lavish amounts of money works.
Okay, this quarterback at Washington, Williams, he reportedly signed an NIL deal to go back to Washington there. People are saying about $4 million. Well, then somebody else is going to give him more, and he wants to leave. Washington's going to try and keep the contract and enforce it. How are they going to play this out if a kid doesn't want to play with you? They're not going to make him stay there. What's going to happen with this?
I don't know. We first saw something kind of similar to this a few years ago when Caden Proctor was at Iowa after a pitched recruiting battle, and then he transferred to Alabama, but he had re-upped with the Hawkeyes, and they kind of went after him and tried to recoup some money. I would think if the Washington QB is just bent on leaving that program no matter what, and I think he has a couple of high-profile options waiting for him, that they will work out some sort of punitive financial measure, and he'll pay money, or somebody will pay money to get him out of that contract. But we've talked about it on your show before. I've written about it on Football Scoop. It was talked about at length this past May at the Directors of Football Operations Conference right outside of Dallas, Texas. And numerous programs, including Texas Tech, mind you, we're talking about putting clawbacks into their student-athlete contracts so that they did break these contracts or they did leave after they committed to staying, that they would owe money back to the institution or back to its collective.
Yeah, I wonder if Washington's going to be a test case here. If they are they going to try and hold the line just to try and set the tone for everybody? Because if you don't, guys can just sign deals and head out any time.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the Washington situation is not isolated to Washington, and a lot of people are watching it. We saw it also, again, with Wisconsin and the Miami Hurricanes this past year when Wisconsin had a defensive back that believed to go play for Miami, and Wisconsin believed it had a new deal agreed to and signed by that defensive back. And so this is the most high profile. This is not the first of its kind, and now we continue to just see kind of where it goes from here and what the true repercussions will be. But also, to your point, it's hard to force a guy into your locker room, and everybody knows he wants to leave. It's hard to get that toothpaste back in the tube.
John Brice on tonight, national college football writer. Find him at footballscoop.com. So if Ole Miss wins, they go to the national championship. What should we think of Lane Kiffin and what he did at Ole Miss, or was the team this good? What's Lane Kiffin's role here if Ole Miss gets to the title game?
I don't think you can give enough credit to Pete Golding if Ole Miss wins tonight and punches a ticket to the college football playoff game, because we've just never seen anything like this. I also don't think you can discount that this is the culmination of what Lane Kiffin helped build there across 6 years. And he set the foundation. He made Ole Miss a cool place to come to. He hired great coaches. Let's not forget he hired Charlie Weiss Jr., and he convinced Pete Golding to leave Nick Saban in Alabama to come be Ole Miss's defensive coordinator before Nick Saban had retired. And so I think for all of these things, you still have to give Lane Kiffin some credit, and certainly he still gets some money out of it if they keep winning because of the way his LSU contract was negotiated. So it's going to be a lightning rod topic, but the fact of the matter is Ole Miss is not here tonight without Lane Kiffin, but Ole Miss can win a national championship without Lane Kiffin.
Do you who has the edge tonight, Miami or Ole Miss?
I kind of like Ole Miss because I think at this point I trust Trinidad Chambliss a little bit more than I trust Carson Beck. And Carson Beck hasn't had a catastrophic mistake yet, but he's had those games where he has. And the key will be if Miami's running game, Marty Stewart and those guys, if they're able to run it effectively, then Ole Miss will be in some trouble because it needs to keep its defense off the field. But if Miami can't run the football, then I think Ole Miss wins the game.
Is Indiana the favorite tomorrow? Oregon's really, really good.
Indiana is the favorite. One at Oregon. I did not think Indiana could win that game in the regular season. That is the contest, frankly, that made me the biggest believer in Indiana and anything the Hoosiers have done last year or this year. So because of that, because of how well coached they are, because they've kept great coaching continuity, and I know those guys are still helping Dan Lanning, but Will Stein's been assembling his Kentucky staff. Tosh LaPoy's been assembling his Cal staff, and then they've been helping coach Oregon, whereas all those Indiana top assistants, Bryant Haynes and Mortensen and those guys, they're sticking with Indiana. So I give the coaching edge because of that to Indiana. And if Indiana is able to bottle up Dante Moore, then the Hoosiers will win again.
Last one for John Brice, footballscoop.com. You guys cover the game really, really well. ESPN's got all of the playoff here. And people have thrown around, John, like, ESPN controls a lot of stuff. They got a lot of power. Do you buy into that at all, covering the game, the conferences? Does ESPN have a lot of control here?
I think when there's that many hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars involved, Nate, then there's control also involved. That's the best way I can answer that question.
All right, John Brice tonight. Find him at footballscoop.com. John, good luck, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Bud.
See ya. John Brice, footballscoop.com, national college football writer covering the college football playoff. Tonight, it's Miami, Ole Miss. Tomorrow, Indiana, Oregon. Let's go to the text line. How much more interested are you in the college football playoff with these new teams? South Dakota Sports Talk Show getting a lot of people more interested. Listener text coming in. I'm very excited. It's going to be Miami against Oregon. I don't know about that. Picked the wrong teams there, but it's good. You're excited. You picked the wrong teams. Listener text, playoffs much more interesting now that we don't have the same teams, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia. Yeah, I mean, that happened all the time. I mean, those are the four. That was happening all the time. And there was this time I was on this show, I remember saying, the college football playoffs, the same teams. It's the same teams. Does this get stale at all? And now we got some different teams in here. Best story to me is Indiana, but then the storyline with Ole Miss losing their coach, and we thought that was unbelievable, and now they're on the verge. I mean, that's a great storyline. Let's see. A couple more. Are you more excited? Yes, these four teams will be great to watch. All right. 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line. I do have a question of the day. Let's get out the question of the day for a chance at a free buffet at the Pizza Ranch. Text us on the text line. We're giving away a buffet a day from the Pizza Ranch, and Brandon location, and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. This is an NFL question of the day, okay? This will be an NFL question of the day. It's about, out of the quarterbacks left in the postseason, who would you want to lead your team right now? And I'm taking off Matt Stafford, some of these higher-end guys. So I'm taking them off. I've got four options. Which one of these quarterbacks who hasn't had postseason success would you want to lead your team? Okay? These are quarterbacks who haven't had postseason success. Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud, or Drake May. There's my options. Out of those guys below who haven't had postseason success, which quarterback would you want leading your team this postseason? Right here, right now. Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, C.J. Stroud, Drake May. Who are you taking? This is a little test of the Nate Brown Show audience tonight. A little test. I know who you're going to pick. I can see it from a mile away. Be careful, okay? 605-720-1067. I'll ask James Merilatt that question. He's with DenverSports.com coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Regular-sized loaves of bread may be too much of a good thing if you're single, a young couple just starting out, or an empty nester. Now, thanks to Village Hearth Half Loaves, you can have just the right amount of fresh, delicious bread for toast and your favorite sandwiches. Village Hearth Half Loaves come in 5 flavorful varieties, including Dakota-style 12-grain, honey wheat, and premium white. You're sure to find the one that's just right. Village Hearth Half Loaves, the perfect size for 1 or 2.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
On January 20th, we face a choice. A yes vote for smart growth that creates new revenue for a generation. Paid for by private businesses, not taxpayers. Smart growth funds our schools, roads, public good, and city needs, like our library. Tired of the noise? Get the facts at voteyesjan20.com. When you have the facts on your side, it is easy to see why you should vote yes. Again, get the facts. Voteyesjan20.com. Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Growth.
Attention football fans, the BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort has it all. Watch your team on massive high-definition screens while enjoying live betting. Keep some skin in the game even when the odds don't go your way. Enter Jack's Second Chance Mulligan Drawing by dropping your losing ticket for a shot at up to $200 in Cadillac cash every week. Satisfy your craving with mouth-watering Mexican cuisine from Guadalajara's or choose from 4 other food vendors, all while sipping on your favorite drinks. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your game play out?
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional. Get going. Get to Shields. Shields. We're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Your sports, your show, The Nate Brown Show live Thursday edition. Hey, happy hour's coming up tonight. It's our second hour of the program with Rob Keighron live in studio. If I got to deal with Rob twice a week, you got to deal with him. It's a lot of fun. Rob Keighron's in. Coming up Thursday, happy hour on tap with our guest host and the second hour national radio host, Rob Keighron. A dandy, ready to go. Matt Zimmer's on tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com. Coming up, Matt Zimmer talking college football and more. Sioux Falls Live. Let's go to Denver. Want to hit on the NFL playoffs. Want to hit on the Broncos. James Merilatt covers the Broncos. DenverSports.com. DenverSports.com. Great site. James, welcome in. How are you?
I'm great, Nate. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. So I got a question of the day. I'm going to throw you right in it. I'm going to throw you right in it. My question of the day is, hey, there's some QBs that don't have a lot of postseason experience, not a lot of postseason success. You know, the Mahomes is out and Burrow's out. So out of the guys that I'm going to throw out, which QB would you want leading your team this postseason? I pulled out 4 that don't have a lot of success. Some young guys, and then there's a veteran in there that hasn't won a game in the postseason. Sam Darnold, Drake May, Bo Nix, or C.J. Stroud. If I line them up, who do you want this playoffs?
Wow, that is a good question. I'm going to go, boy. I mean, C.J. Stroud, they beat the Chargers last year. They went into KC, played pretty well in that playoff game. So I'm going to take C.J. Stroud just because I've seen him do it in the postseason a little bit more than the others. Oh, boy. That's a great – I mean, of the bunch, I think Drake May is the best quarterback, but I will take C.J. Stroud from that batch. It's what makes this weekend fascinating, though. There are so many quarterbacks who we don't know, what they're going to be able to do on this stage. So it's going to be super interesting. It's a great question. I'll take C.J. Stroud, and maybe he's just riding the coattails of that defense, but I think that Houston team is very, very dangerous.
Do you think Bo Nix is ready for this? Got the bye week at home. He's set up for success here. Is he ready for this? I love Bo's character, leadership, calm demeanor. I mean, the guy doesn't get razzled, okay? Is he ready?
I do think he's ready for the moment. He doesn't seem overwhelmed by anything. It never seems like it's too big for him. So I think from a psychological standpoint, a mental standpoint, I think he's ready for it. I am concerned by the fact that the last 2.5 games, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but he took that awkward hit about midway through the Jacksonville game, and he just wasn't the same guy the second half of that game. He did not look very good against the Chiefs. He did not look very good against the Chargers. A lot of throws that were just off target. I don't know physically if he's right, but I think mentally, in terms of just being ready for the moment and, ready for prime time, so to speak, I think Bo Nix is up to that challenge. I'm just not sure he's 100% physically. We won't know until their season is done, but that is my concern because he just seems like something has been off for a couple of games.
Okay, I'm going to get into some teams that could come into Denver, James. I'm going to go against this. I think the Chargers can win. They're plus 3.5. I like that number one. And I think the Chargers can shut down the Patriots. I do. And then it would be the Chargers coming into Denver. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, it's a familiar foe. They're so banged up. Would it shock me if they beat the Patriots? No. But they're just so banged up, especially on the offensive line and Denver's pass rush. I would be fine with that matchup. So, the Chargers are for a 7 seed. That's a dangerous 7 seed, but I would be fine with LA coming into Denver. That's my second best option in terms of the 4 that could come into Denver. The Chargers wouldn't scare me as much as some other ones.
Is that right? Okay. So I assume your first best option is you want the Steelers to essentially pull off an upset, even though they're the higher seed. Is it the Steelers that you want coming in?
Yeah, and I learned back in 1996 when I was rooting for the Jags to come into Denver, not to root, but if I just had to rank them, if I'm just being honest, I would say, yeah, that's the team you would prefer to see come into Denver. It's the worst team in the playoffs in the AFC. Aaron Rodgers looked really good in the fourth quarter of that game against Baltimore, going back and forth with Lamar Jackson. So it's like, does he have a little magic left? But if you made me pick from the 4, yeah, give me Pittsburgh. That's a team that's a 10-win team. They're not a juggernaut offensively. You don't look at that game and go, man, that could get away from Denver in a hurry. So, yeah, if you made me pick a team to come in here, I would take Pittsburgh without a doubt.
James Merilatt on tonight from Denver. He's at denversports.com. One more prediction. Who do you think is going to come in there? I said, wouldn't surprise me if it is the Chargers with an upset at New England. Who do you think's coming in?
I think it's going to be Buffalo. I think they're going to go down.
Wow.
I think they're going to beat Jacksonville. I think the Chargers will lose to the Patriots, so that means the lowest seed that's advancing is Buffalo. It's the team I want to see come in here the least, just because Josh Allen is a player that can carry his team and take them all the way to a Super Bowl. I just feel like that's the matchup that is looming next week is Buffalo at Denver. I think Houston is going to beat Pittsburgh, so they could be coming in here again. That defense scares the heck out of me. That's a game that you could lose 13-7 easily. Not that that'll be an exciting game or one that people be writing home about, but that defense is the kind of team, the kind of group that can take you to a Super Bowl. But yeah, I think Buffalo's coming in here next week. I think they go down and beat Jacksonville in the game of the weekend.
You do. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to tell you, James, that Jacksonville beats Buffalo, and when the Jaguars do beat Buffalo, does Sean McDermott get fired? You tell me.
Yeah, I think he does. I think it's a little bit like the situation we have here in Denver with Jared Bednar. Now, Bednar won a Stanley Cup, but for the most part, the Avs have gone into the playoffs every single year as a team that is the favorite to win the Stanley Cup, and they lose in the first or second round. They underachieve. And at some point, you got to change who's at the top. And Sean McDermott's had a lot of success in terms of, amassing wins in the regular season and getting to the postseason. But at some point, when you have Josh Allen, who, maybe he's not the best quarterback in the league, maybe he's not the best player in the league, but he's in the conversation. He's in the top 5 guys. When you can't get to a Super Bowl with that guy, at some point you got to change the head coach, and you got to see if somebody else can get it done. Especially when you see people like John Harbaugh that are now out there on the market as a guy you could hire. Yeah, if they're one and done, if they lose to Jacksonville, the fact that they fell to the 6th seed, the fact that they go down there and they lose, yeah, I think it would be over for him in Buffalo.
Okay, so if the Broncos go one and done, they got the bye here, number 1 seed. Let's say they lose in the divisional round. What's the Broncos fan reaction in Denver? To me, it feels like, oh, this was a magical season. Nobody expected it. Had Russell Wilson dead money still. Everybody's just riding high. Are people going to be mad if they lose in the divisional?
I think it's going to be split. I will be mad. And look, at this point, they've overachieved. Nobody thought they'd go 14-3. Nobody thought they'd be the 1 seed. They're ahead of schedule. But when you get to this point, and you're the number 1 seed, which the NFL playoffs, it's unlike anything else in sports. It is such a huge advantage to be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Only having to win 2 games instead of 3 to get to the Super Bowl. Both are at home. The Broncos have been the 1 seed 8 times in their history. 6 out of 8 times they've gone to the Super Bowl. That's a 75% clip. Like, it will take an upset. Now, maybe not a huge upset, but it will take an upset for them to not go to the Super Bowl. That's a disappointment. So the fact that they're in this position, yeah, that's great. Good job. Kudos to everyone. But if you get here and you blow it, I just think that's a disappointment, and you just never know when it's going to roll around again.
Yes.
And it's what Dan Campbell said when the Lions lost to the Niners. And, man, how many times are you going to get in this position? Well, look what's happened to them, right? They lose last year to Washington at home in the first round. They don't even make the playoffs this year. They finished last in the AFC North. Like, the window closes quickly. You don't know how long it's going to be open, so if it's open, you better jump through it and take advantage of it. So I think there's a group of people that'll be like me, will say, "Man, what a golden opportunity, and you blew it." And then there will be, the glass half full people and the orange tinted sunglasses people will say, "Wow, they're ahead of schedule." There's no moral victories at this point. You're the 1 seed. You should go to the Super Bowl. If you don't, it's a disappointment.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, especially with no Chiefs, no Bengals, some of these teams that are out, some of these high-profile QBs outside of Josh Allen. I'm with you on it. I remember the Bills. They kept on thinking they would get back to the AFC title game. Oh, they'll get back there. They'll get back to the Super Bowl, and they haven't quite yet. James Merilatt on tonight. Find him at denversports.com and on X at James Merilatt, a follow for Broncos fans. James, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it, Nate. Thanks a bunch.
See ya. James Merilatt live from denversports.com. Follow him at denversports.com and at James Merilatt on X. I'm totally with him. I mean, I kept on saying when my boy Josh Allen lost those tight ones to the Chiefs, just devastating. That one was super devastating. Everybody kept saying, oh, he's still young. I mean, the Bills will be coming back here every year. Huh. It closes quick. You don't get the 1 seed very often. You don't get back to that position very often. When you're there, you got to take it, man. You got to take it. So if the Broncos choke it, it's choke city. If the Broncos lose in the first divisional game, that is choke city. So I still got a week to worry. Don't worry. Still got a week. We'll be high-strung next week, man. Matt Zimmer's on next. SiouxFallsLive.com. Some numbers just came out of the FCS National Championship. Was this a big watch game or not? Matt Zimmer on the way.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Underneath the people from all kinds of backgrounds to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's your last chance to lock in 2025 pricing on our acclaimed replacement windows and ensemble entry doors. Get 20% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Pay nothing till 2027. Plus, get an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. If you've been thinking about replacing those drafty, outdated doors or windows, now is the time. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're live on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Thanks for spending time with us. Your sports, your show, from high school to college to the pros. If you miss any parts of the program, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show's there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. You can listen when you make it convenient. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast on all the platforms. Search the Nate Brown Show, and you've got us. Rob Keighron, national radio host, here on the Nate Brown Show, coming in for a full hour. It's a Thursday happy hour coming up with Rob Keighron. A lot to discuss. We will make our playoff picks. Which way are we going? Which way am I going on the playoffs? That's coming up. Matt Zimmer's in tonight. Covers SDSU and more at SiouxFallsLive.com. As a matter of fact, Brookings tonight. Find him on X at Matt J. Zimmer. Matt, welcome in. How are you?
Good, Nate. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for hopping in here. I want to talk FCS. Get your read on the national championship. I love the game. Really exciting. Third most watched FCS title game ever. Why do you say that is? The game, the Monday night standalone, third most watched. What do you think?
I think having it Monday night on its own, not competing with the NFL or any other, FBS bowl game or anything really, was probably the big factor because, they weren't necessarily one of the big brands. I guess maybe you could consider Montana State one of them. Maybe moving it to Nashville, I don't know, maybe that got it a shot in the arm. And I think also the fact that it was an amazing game, I think there were a lot of people that tuned in late. I don't know how that impacts the actual ratings. But, certainly once it got to the second half and it was a back-and-forth close game, you kind of saw all the social media talk about it, and it really kind of blew up. So, it was certainly, I think, a really fantastic way for the FCS season to end because you saw in the aftermath that night and into the next day people talking about what a great game it was and how exciting it was and how it was kind of almost, kind of refreshing to see a game like that because we just haven't seen as many of those at the FBS or even NFL level lately.
With Brock Spack, head coach, Illinois State, making some of the calls he did, was the heat he was getting appropriate?
I don't know. I thought he should have gone for it instead of kicked the field goal, the one that ended up getting blocked. And I thought sending the house on the 4th and 10 play at the end was a very questionable call. So I guess if you're the kind of person who thinks you need to blame someone whenever there's a loss, then I guess it would be fair to do that. But those are both kind of calls that could go either. If they work, then everyone says he pushed the right button, and they didn't, and it goes the other way. I'm just not the kind of person that necessarily thinks you have to assign blame to every loss. I mean, there's a fine line between winning and losing, and I think the bigger picture is whoever's fault it is, whether it's the kicker's fault or, the guy who let the guy get in there to block the kick or, the guy who was supposed to be covering Taco Dowler at the end, whoever ultimately was responsible for it, it's just a kick in the gut loss for Illinois State regardless, because I think it really seemed like with the sort of Cinderella run that they were on and the fact that they're in a conference with the 4 Dakota schools who are generally considered to be, higher than them on the pecking order, it kind of felt like if they were ever going to win a national championship, this was it.
Yeah.
And they had it right there and let it slip through their grasp.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I thought the game was really, really good, but I was Illinois State. I'm like, oh, man, you let that one slip away, no doubt. Matt Zimmer on tonight talking FCS. So Montana State wins their first title in 41 years. When we come back to next season, here's what I'm noticing in the portal. I'm looking at North Dakota State's getting some D2 guys, NAIA guys. I've seen South Dakota State's looking at that as well. What do you think of that approach?
I think it's a good approach. It doesn't always work out, but SDSU's had some success, even kind of before the portal became the huge factor that it is now. I mean, you look back over the years, Kobe Claiborne was maybe the best player in their defense last year. He came from Northwest Missouri State, a Division II school. Matt Gehring, a linebacker, didn't start for them but made an impact last year. He came from USF. Jason Freeman was one of the best players, arguably the best player on their defense when they won their national championships. He was an NAIA guy. There's some other ones I'm probably forgetting that just aren't coming to mind immediately. But I think the thinking there is that if you go get a guy from Division II or NAIA, maybe he doesn't have the measurables of a D1 guy. He isn't as big, he isn't as fast. That's why he didn't get that D1 offer coming out of high school. But if he, started at the Division II level, if he was an all-conference caliber player in the NSIC, I mean, that's a really good league. And that means that guy, regardless of what his tools are, he knows how to play football. He can produce. He has gone out on the field and done it. And then on top of that, I think just from talking to Dan Jackson, and he telegraphed this, he said after the season, I'm going to be looking for D2 guys in the portal. He feels like those guys are hungrier, that they have something to prove. They want to show that they got overlooked coming out of high school. A lot of times guys that come down from the FBS level, and the Jacks have had some success with some of those guys too, but a lot of times those guys come down and they're a little more entitled. They come in and go, well, okay, maybe I didn't start for Oklahoma or Minnesota, but if I come into South Dakota State, I'm going to be the man and I'm going to get as many carries as I want or as many snaps, all that kind of stuff. And it never works out that way. Those guys always get there and find out, oh, these guys are better than I thought, and sometimes it takes them a while to get acclimated and earn their place. So I can't speak for NDSU or any of the other schools, but I know from talking to Dan Jackson and Jimmy Rogers before him, then from lower levels, because they knew that those guys would come in eager to prove themselves and just wanting to be part of a winning program.
Yeah. Matt Zimmer on tonight, SiouxFallsLive.com. Appreciate his time. Covers SDSU and all sports here in South Dakota at SiouxFallsLive.com. How about this college football playoff tonight? I just want you to read here. You got Miami, Ole Miss. You got Indiana, Oregon tomorrow. My audience has been sending in messages saying they're really excited about new teams. Does NIL benefit us this way? New teams, everybody that can have money now evens the playing field. Is that a silver lining for you?
I think so. I mean, there's been a lot of hand-wringing about how NIL and the portal have ruined college football, and it's no fun because you don't get to know the players, and they're going. It's basically a free-for-all free agency after every year, and I get that. I feel the same way to some degree. It's not as fun when you don't even know who's on a roster and guys are coming and going left and right. But having said that, all indications are that ratings are up all across FBS college football. The caliber of play, I think, is up. Parity is up. That's a good thing. I mean, people can talk about how, there's no dynasties anymore or the SEC doesn't dominate like it used to, but I think most of us think that's a good thing. And, who would have ever thought that the Indiana Hoosiers would be the favorites to win the national championship in football? I mean, that's just still hard to even conceive. And, I think for some fans, it's tough to get used to something that's different than what they're used to, even when it's the thing they say they want. You know what I mean? Like sometimes fans are like, oh, it sucks. Every year it's Alabama and LSU. Every year it's the Big Ten and the SEC. And then they get what they want and they complain about that too. But I think ultimately, something's probably got to happen to get some sort of, normalcy or consistency or containment around this Wild West that the transfer portal has become. And that's obviously a mess. And I hope that there is something coming down the pike, whether it's contracts or limiting the number of transfers, something that can get that under control a little bit. But I think the leveling of the playing field and turning college football into a little bit more, I don't want to say turning it into the NFL because that's what most college fans don't want to hear, but at the same time, why do you think the NFL is so popular? Because of the parity, because fans of the Detroit Lions can feel like they can go to a Super Bowl after 40 years of futility. There's something good about the Indiana Hoosiers suddenly feeling like they're part of this, and I think in the long run, people are going to appreciate that.
I'm with you on that. Last one, I'm going to put you on the spot for Matt Zimmer in 2026. So we got a full year here. Will we see solid movement from anybody in the FCS, namely NDSU, to the Mountain West?
No.
All right. That's it. 2026 will be clean. We will talk about it. I hate to break it to you. Sioux Falls.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident going no.
Okay. No dice, no movement. SiouxFallsLive.com. He's on tonight. Matt J. Zimmer on X. Matt, I appreciate it. Thanks.
You bet, Nate. See ya.
See ya. Matt Zimmer tonight, SiouxFallsLive.com. Here on the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio. Matt Zimmer's in. You know who's in next tonight, right? Energy just keeps on rising. The level just keeps on rising. Rob Keighron On a Thursday happy hour, we got a lot to discuss. Which QB would he take out of these guys that haven't had postseason success? I threw them out there. It's my question of the day. If you haven't answered it, send it in on the text line so we know where you're at. Which QB with no postseason success would you take this year? Bo Nix, Drake May, Sam Darnold, or C.J. Stroud? 605-720-1067. Our question of the day. Set you up with a buffet at the Pizza Ranch. Just for answering, we'll pull out a winner on the text line tonight. Rob Keighron's coming in.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterpark.com.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Mr. Liquor in Rapid City would like to thank their customers for making last year an overwhelming success. Know that in 2026, Mr. Liquor will continue to provide the area's best selection of wine, spirits, and ice-cold beer with unmatched customer service. Look for even more exclusive Mr. Liquor barrel picks and rare allocated bourbons in the coming months. Plus, check out their Facebook page for monthly savings specials on your favorite brands. Thanks again for your business from Mr. Liquor South off Catron next to Walmart and Mr. Liquor West on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Attention sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street, featuring 4 full courts for basketball and volleyball. E3 Sports Complex is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org. We're talking with Rihanna Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for another Elevate Performance Health Minute. Rihanna, as we all get older, one of the most common injuries, pains, back pain.
We see it every day.
There's a lot of things that can cause it, right?
Absolutely. There's a multitude of different things that can cause back pain, whether that's strength or something that you did, you tweaked it. So it's really important that we get you looked at and figure out what's actually causing that, because so many things can cause the different types of back pain.
Okay, so what's interesting about it, you could have pain in the back, but then there's also a problem with your back, and now that turns into sciatica.
Yeah, sciatica, it tends to come down through the buttock into the leg, and back pain generally just stays right within the back. You might have something traveling, numbness and tingling, pain shooting down past the knee even, all the way to the foot. We definitely want to get that taken care of sooner than later.
Back pain relief, sciatica relief. Get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, are we ready? We are ready on a Thursday, the Nate Brown Show live. High Energy Thursday. Happy hour. Rob Keighron's live in studio. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Welcome back. We are in the second hour, ready to go. If you missed the first hour, no worries. No worries. I know you can't spend 2 hours straight. My wife doesn't even do that with me on this program, Kay. You can't spend 2 hours, so go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. If you missed the first hour, we had a live report from the college football playoff from John Brice, footballscoop.com, Miami, getting set for Ole Miss tonight. I like Ole Miss. John Brice was in. James Merilatt from Denver Sports talking Broncos and the playoffs. And Matt Zimmer moments ago from Sioux Falls Live. They were all in the first hour. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show is there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. We are live with Rob Keighron and a great question of the day. Let's have some realistic conversations tonight. Let's not just go shock and awe, okay? Let's not go DJ shock jock. Let's go realistic conversations. And I thought, hey, there's some QBs here in the playoffs, Rob, that haven't had postseason success. You got Josh Allen in there. He's won some games, obviously, but there's a lot of guys now with Mahomes out and stuff. I'm saying, what about the guys that haven't had success? Which one of these guys would you take going into this weekend or next if you're going with the number one seed? So which quarterback would you want leading your team this postseason that has limited experience in the postseason? Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, C.J. Stroud, or Drake May? It's my question of the day, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, location in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. We'll give a buffet a day away. Giving away a free buffet at the Pizza Ranch for answering the question of the day. You send yours in if you're listening right now, 605-720-1067. I'll start reading the audience here coming up as I serve it to Rob Keighron. There's the QBs, and I hope you can be fair. Who do you have?
I'm always fair, whether you agree with me or not. I'm giving you my unvarnished, what I think is a fair opinion.
You just get stuck in the mud. I mean, you just get stuck on these guys.
I get stuck until I'm proven otherwise. And with one Sam Darnold, I've not been proven otherwise yet. I may eat crow in a couple of weeks. I may have to admit on your airwaves that I was completely wrong on him. I don't think I will be, so he will not be my choice in your question of the day.
How do you think I bring these questions up? You know, I'm preparing the Thursday show, and I'm like, hey, Rob's coming in. Let's talk about this. Hey, I'm going to bring up Sam Darnold, and we're just going to go to town.
Yeah, well, he's not. How could he inspire confidence in you? He's had one playoff game, and he wasn't very good in it.
Well, he gets picked on. You guys just absolutely destroy this guy's persona. He's had an unbelievable season again. Can you name a QB that's went 14-3? And I mean, this is Mahomes level. 14-3 back-to-back years. That's unbelievable.
Okay, it's not even close to Mahomes level. That is
Mahomes
a completely
level.
Unfair characterization.
That's success.
It's what success. He's won 14 regular season games 2 years in a row.
That's unbelievable.
And lost the playoff game, and he's going to lose one next week again. We'll see then.
28-6. So you're not taking Sam. So. Who are you taking?
This is, to me, a little difficult because it's between two guys, and one of them is not Bo Nix. Because I think Bo might show himself to be very good, but I think even you would admit he's been a little up and down this year. He's not been perfect. I wouldn't be concerned if he were my quarterback going into the playoffs, but I think it's really between May and Stroud. And I've been torn back and forth about this because Stroud, at the very least, does have some postseason experience. He has two postseason wins. And he did play well in college in big-time games. So I'm not opposed to taking him, but I really think May has shown. Essentially, May may win the MVP of the league this year. He may.
Oh, boy.
I don't think he is. I think it's Matt Stafford, but I couldn't quibble too much if May does win the MVP. He's been that good. And what has been remarkable to me about May this year in his second year is how much he's limited mistakes. He has had a lot of poise. He's been very smart with the football. And you could argue, at the very least, Darnold's bugaboo, if he has one, is that he sometimes makes those bad decisions and throws interceptions in big games. I think you'd have to at least admit that. Well, he does do that.
I'd have to admit that Sam Darnold had a really tough road, a way tougher road than little Drake. It's pretty easy to protect the ball against the Jets and the Dolphins. It's pretty easy.
You negate the... Yes, it is. But when you're young and you're a rookie quarterback and you still are not making those mistakes, even if against inferior opponents, it shows a lot of poise. The guy had like a 73% completion percentage this year. Really high for an NFL quarterback. I mean, it's not college.
I figured that you might do this. I was hoping you didn't do it because I thought the audience would also do it. You throw in Drake May, and we act like this guy's won 30 games. We act like he's won as many games as Sam Darnold in the last 2 years. It's not even close.
But you're equating, again, so I'm taking a leap, right? I fully admit that I'm taking a leap.
You are.
Having never seen him play a playoff game.
Yes,
I have to be fair about that. But you're equating 28 regular season wins as if that is some amazing achievement when we've now seen him 2 big games last year, the last game of the season and the playoff game where he was not good, not average, bad. He was bad in both of those games. Was he okay against San Francisco? Yeah, but he didn't have to do anything, right? I am worried that old Sam Darnold is going to come out again. Could Drake May be a flop in a playoffs where the stage is too big for him? Entirely possible, which is why I thought it was either May or Stroud, because at least I have some games that I've seen from Stroud. But the whole premise of your question is guys who don't have a lot of experience. So we're kind of taking a leap on all of them. Which one of these is going to perform the best on the big stage? I think it's Drake May.
Yeah, it's not going to be Drake because you aren't playing the Jets. I hate to break it to you, Drake. Going to be a little tougher. By the way, the Chargers, they're going to take it to him. Book that right here, right now. The Chargers defense is going to be really tough for Josh Mishandles and your boy, Drake May. It's going to be a tough road out there.
I don't see it.
You don't believe that?
I do not believe that at all.
That's the biggest play of the day, I hate to tell you.
Wow.
Let's see. Plus 3.5.
Wow. You are
Come
something.
On. Let me do this. Who are you taking out of the QBs to lead your team that doesn't have all the postseason experience this year? We got some new guys. Who would you want to lead your team? Listener text coming in, 605-720-1067. Be a part of the conversation, and you might win a buffet at the Pizza Ranch. I'll set you up. We'll text you if you win at the end of the program. We got some votes. Listener text, Sam Darnold. Listener text, Sam Darnold.
Oh, my gosh.
Listener text, Sam Darnold. Eat it, Vikings fans.
What Kool-Aid?
I mean, this is amazing. Let's see. Bo Nix. We got another Bo Nix. No C.J. Strouds at all.
I don't get it.
I thought maybe C.J. I thought you'd be reasonable yourself and take C.J.
I'm torn between these two. I said that fully. I could go either way with it. It's not like Drake May is head and shoulders above because I've never seen him play a playoff game. But I have seen Sam Darnold play a playoff game. And it was putrid.
Leading vote getter on X. You can vote there at Nate Brown Show tonight. If you're on X, follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. Leading vote getter. This is absurd. 56% of the Twitter audience says Drake May.
You know what I've always said about your audience, Nate? They're very bright. Extremely bright audience.
Especially the people on X, I'll tell you. 19% picking Sam Darnold. The second leading vote getter is Sam Darnold.
All right, not so bright.
Bo Nix is third. C.J. Stroud is fourth. That seems odd.
Stroud should not be fourth. Let's be fair. I mean, he actually has played playoff games and won playoff games, right? Like, he's been decent in the playoffs. He deserved. Now, I think the problem with Stroud is he missed a bunch of games this year. He wasn't at his top self all season.
Yeah, I would say that.
So there's a little recency bias with that.
Listener text, Rob would rather see Sam Darnold retire and ride into the sunset. Yeah.
No, actually, I enjoy that he's still playing. And when he stinks next week, he'll be great fodder for our Monday reaction show.
Here's another target to Rob Keighron here on the text line.
I'm getting targeted now.
Rob, you're giving Nix a pass and hating Darnold? That's wild, capitalized.
Well,
wild.
I'm giving Nix a pass because they squeaked into the playoffs last year. It was his first year, not Darnold's, 6th or 7th year in the league at that point. And it was on the road in Buffalo, if I recall, against a team that they were not even close to matching up with. You would agree with that. I mean, they were overmatched in that game. It was his first play. So, yeah, I'm going to give him a pass as a rookie quarterback who got in there and played pretty well.
What about this? I said in the first hour when you were on your way in here, I said if the Broncos lose in the divisional round, we had James Merilatt on. He's covered the Broncos for a long time for Denver Sports. James said it would be bad. He said, you can't get this number one seed every year. It's right there on the table. That's choke city, I think. If the Broncos lose in the divisional round, that is choke city.
I think it depends on who they lose to, Nate. I would not say that.
Number one seed.
Being the number one seed doesn't guarantee you anything.
It's huge.
I'm a fan of the New York Football Giants, as everyone who listens to this program knows. And let's see, the first time they beat the New England Patriots, they were the 6th seed, and there were only 6 teams in the playoffs at that time. The second time, I think they were the 3rd or 4th seed, right? One seeds are not a guarantee to even get to the Super Bowl, let alone win the Super Bowl. And the Broncos are building something, right? The way I think about it, if I'm a Bronco fan, they're building something. They're still sitting with, 35 million in dead cap space from Russell Wilson.
Again. We'll be back here again. I've heard those words before.
Year in, year out, you should be a competitive team. There's no doubt about that.
Ask Sean McDermott and the Bills how they feel about that.
To say it's a choke when you've squeaked by all season winning these one-score games, you live that way, eventually you die that way. At some point, you're going to lose one of these tight games. And you want to say that in the divisional round they get blown out by their competition? That I'll give you, choke city. They lose a nail-biter to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, which I think is what's going to happen next week. You can't say that's a choke. Sorry, that's not a choke.
I have some questions for Rob Keighron about these NFL coaches, okay? John Harbaugh's on the market. Mike McDaniel just got fired today by the Dolphins, so we got a lot to discuss there. Let's get into it.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's your last chance to lock in 2025 pricing on our acclaimed replacement windows and ensemble entry doors. Get 20% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Pay nothing till 2027. Plus, get an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. If you've been thinking about replacing those drafty, outdated doors or windows, now is the time. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
East River to West River. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show. We are live on a Thursday. Fun week this week. College football playoff tonight. Miami, Ole Miss. You got Indiana, Oregon tomorrow. We'll get into what that all means for the college football playoff and the four teams that you're not used to seeing this far. I think it's great. I love college football. The new teams are in, so we'll get to that. Hang on. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. Rob Keighron's live in studio. It's a Thursday happy hour on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. So Rob Keighron's team is the New York Giants, and nobody cares. But anyway, we're going to talk about it because the Giants need a coach, and there's some guys out there like John Harbaugh. Let's just start with this. Was John Harbaugh rightly fired? This game came down to Sunday night. If the Steelers lost, people said, Tomlin's going to be out. I thought that was absurd. The Ravens lose. I mean, Lamar Jackson's been hurt half the year. They lose, and he's out. Was that right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's right. If it were my team, would I probably keep Harbaugh? Yeah, probably.
Probably.
But the guy's been there 18 years. I think sometimes you need a reset. I think sometimes players need to hear a different voice. They have to have a different leader. That it just, I think you can lose your touch on players after that much time. I'm not saying I would have fired him. I just don't have a huge problem with them moving on from him after 18 years.
So if you were in the meeting, you were in the boardroom there with the Ravens, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna let go of John," and you'd be the advisor. You'd be like, "Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Well, you'd kind of be there."
There are some reports that a lot of this had to do with they wanted to get rid of his offensive coordinator, Todd Monken.
I saw that.
And he backed him up, and basically that's where it got down to, well, they had to make a decision. So would I have recommended him going? Probably not, because the stability of a coach who's been that, I mean, he has like 193 wins and an over 600 winning percentage. That doesn't happen very often in the history of football. I probably would keep, my point to you is I think sometimes after that amount of time, you can justify moving on from someone and going in a different direction. I probably would have kept him, but I don't have a problem with them getting rid of him.
This is like my Broncos getting rid of Mike Shanahan. Nobody, I mean, all of a sudden they just got rid of Mike and he's won games and everyone's going, what are you doing?
Yep.
That didn't work out. They get rid of Mike Shanahan. Well, we need a new energy, new voice, this and that. So I'm going to ask you then, if you probably, I guess I could have kept him or not. Your New York Giants have an opening. Why aren't you guys on the phone right now?
Well, they already are, but Harbaugh's saying he's not interviewing anywhere until next week. I think he's looking to really examine all of his options. Yeah, he'd have to be right near the top of my list. To me, it's him or Stefanski. If the Giants don't get him or Stefanski, they've done something incredibly wrong. I would take Harbaugh because Harbaugh...
You would. You'd take Harbaugh over... You just told me you love Stefanski on Monday.
I do love him.
But now Harbaugh, you take him over Stefanski?
Yeah, Harbaugh, a proven winner, right? And knows how to build a coaching staff. And I think that is an underrated part of being a head coach. You know, I think what a lot of these young coaches that, you know, these young hot coordinators, every year we get a handful of hot coordinators, their biggest task is not getting the job. It's filling out a staff. You know, you think of it as offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. No, there's like 30 coaches and big-time staff members that they have to assemble and really build a team together. I think the reason why I like Harbaugh is I think he is a guy who will attract really great candidates for both OCDC and all the way through the line.
You think your Giants have a chance to get John Harbaugh?
Yeah.
What?
Well, for a couple reasons.
What?
For a few reasons. One,
this is a stunner.
You don't agree.
Jackson Dart.
Yeah,
oh boy.
We got Jackson Dart. Oh, you were in the minority on Dart. You have to understand that by now. In that, if you look at national media all over the country, and
That's
particularly,
good. I hope I'm in the minority compared to those guys.
Particularly a lot of ex-players. They believe in Dart. Now, do I say he's going to be top 5 quarterback? No. But can you win with a guy like Jackson Dart? Has he shown enough promise in the first year that he'd give a lot of hope to a big-time coach? Yes, absolutely. It's New York City. If you win there, you are a king. I mean, I know you guys are Broncos fans and Vikings fans. As someone who was born and raised in New York City, there is nothing like winning in New York and walking down that Canyon of Heroes, Broadway, with millions of people chanting your name. You will be a legend for life.
Now, listen. This is turned in. You're clouded by your New York roses. Here, you're clouded by your glasses. John Harbaugh's not going to go to be the Giants coach. He's looking at who they have and what they've done. That's a mess. He's not going to go there. There's plenty of other places you can go.
Where's he going to go?
New York Giants.
Where's he going to go?
Jackson Dart. I mean, this is turned in from South Dakota Sports Talk Show into New York WFAN.
Where's he going to go?
Anywhere but New York.
So, okay, you're telling me that the Cleveland job is a better job than New York?
No, not Cleveland.
Okay,
not Cleveland.
Tennessee?
Maybe.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna. I don't know what to do. If you're watching on the stream, I want to put my fist through something right now.
Where else?
Wait, Arizona. Wait, no. We're not gonna let that pass. Arizona is a better job. Who's the quarterback?
They'll get one.
Oh, they're gonna get one.
Yeah.
And you love Darnold. You know how much I love Stafford. And, oh, by the way, the other team is San Francisco. You got 3 teams that are legit better than them on a year-in, year-out basis, and you're going to tell me Arizona's a better job than the New York Giants?
No, the Giants.
Oh my gosh, Nate,
that's not a good one. You got the
Eagles. That's a crazy take.
You got the Eagles. You got the Commanders. Come on.
The Commanders were terrible this year. The Cowboys are a mess every year because of Jerry Jones, and the Eagles took a step back. I mean, what are we talking about?
So you think John Harbaugh, that you're going to line him up?
Atlanta's a better job? Miami's a better job?
Doubt. I'd go to Atlanta in a heartbeat.
Who's the quarterback in Atlanta?
In a heartbeat.
Penix is always hurt, and Cousins is ancient.
You know who
Miami doesn't have a quarterback, and they're going to have to get rid of 2, and they're going to be in cap hell.
Go get Fernando Mendoza. You'll be watching him tomorrow night.
He's going to get drafted by the Raiders. So you want to say the Raiders is a better job? Okay, fine.
Yes.
If you want to say the Raiders because you're going to draft Mendoza 1, and you'll have a long runway there, okay, I think you can make that argument. Although, if you want to start making the argument that the Giants organization is a mess, which one is worse? The Las Vegas Raiders. Let's be fair.
They're not great. I will say the Raiders aren't great, but I'm not choosing to go to the Giants because I see Jackson Dart there. That's a slow death. It's not going to be a quick death. Going to be a slow death with Jackson. I'm going to witness you right here. It's going to be a slow death over the next couple of years.
What you would call my blindness towards Sam Darnold equates to your blindness to Jackson Dart. Because we don't know what Dart is yet. At least I know what Darnold is.
I just know that
we don't know what he is yet.
I know Ole Miss is playing tonight, and they couldn't make it even close with Jackson. But anyway, they're playing tonight. By the way, let's go to this. Ole Miss in action tonight. What does this all mean? Ole Miss, Miami, Indiana, Oregon in the national semifinals. Does NIL help college football? Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number 1. So you can always be their number 1. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number 1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's your last chance to lock in 2025 pricing on our acclaimed replacement windows and ensemble entry doors. Get 20% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Pay nothing till 2027. Plus, get an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. If you've been thinking about replacing those drafty, outdated doors or windows, now is the time. Call today or visit RVARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Show. Also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Good stuff tonight. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. You guys make this show possible every weekday afternoon. The Nate Brown Show live across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Rob Keighron's live in studio. We're going to go out of WFAN New York City mode. We're going to go back to South Dakota Sports Talk Show. A little common sense right here with, do we think this college football playoff is actually better now with NIL making sure that Mark Cuban can take Indiana all the way to the title game, baby? He's a big supporter of Indiana. Mark Cuban said he's going to give him more money next year. Does this help your look on college football, Rob? That new teams parity, does it help rather than Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson?
How does it not, Nate? Right? I mean, how many years in a row where you and I were following college football when it was a 4-team playoff where essentially we said, okay, here's the pool of teams that could be in this playoff. Alabama, Georgia, maybe LSU for a little bit, sure. Clemson, Ohio State or Michigan, and then some team out west that'd have to mix in there. That was it, right? I mean, for all intents and purposes, no other team could ever crack into that. Notre Dame would be the one exception because they kind of play by their own rules. I mean, think about where we're at, how quickly this has changed to have Ole Miss, Indiana, Miami, and Oregon. None of the true, like the bona fides that we've gotten used to over the last 15, 20 years are there. What does this do other than to give hope for other programs, throw some money at some players, and you can turn your program around in a couple of years, particularly when you're looking at, a 12-team playoff that eventually will go to 16 teams. You got a real opportunity to have a very quick turnaround of your program. I think it's great for college football, the fact that you're bringing in non-traditional fan bases that know that they now have a shot.
I asked the audience here on the show on the text line earlier, I said, are you guys more excited about this? I thought it would just be, not right. I mean, I watched the playoff anyway. People just flooded it, saying way more exciting. You think there's more juice here? I mean, you and I are going to watch it.
Yeah.
You and I are going to play it. You're going to watch it. You think more people are interested because they're like, wait, Indiana's in this thing? I kind of feel they are.
Yeah, I think it draws eyeballs to the sets because it's programs that traditionally have had very little success on the grand college football stage. Ole Miss has had its moments throughout the years, but never a legit chance to make a playoff. Indiana's a basketball school. I mean, they couldn't even fill the stadium a few years ago. Now they're selling out every single game. They're absolutely relevant. They have. I mean, you could argue that they're the favorite to win this thing now. I think it draws more casual eyeballs to the sets because year in, year out, when it's the same teams, I think the diehards like you and me are going to watch no matter what, but the casual fan needs a rooting interest, and they have one now.
Gets stale. It was getting stale. Jake Butt, former tight end, Michigan, went to the NFL, got injured and the whole thing. He's a Big Ten analyst now. Jake Butt said, even with the NIL, people think this is unlimited money every year, and he said this business model won't be sustainable. Teams are not going to recycle the money. $30, $40, $50 million checks every year will not be written. The investors will not see a return on the investment if their team doesn't win. So is it unsustainable? Every year you got to bring big dollars. Not everybody has a Mark Cuban.
Yeah, I do think to a level it is unsustainable. I think there's a short runway for this. I think there's going to have to come down to where college football, and we've talked about this 100 times, the NCAA, one of the worst run organizations in the history of the planet, somebody's going to have some sense there and put in some guardrails, come up with some kind of system of how much you can really spend.
Have to. There's got to be a cap, and it's got to be some contracts. You got to have something.
If it works for professional football, which is the highest grossing of all of our sports, why wouldn't it work for college football? Of course it would work. Now, I wouldn't say it's going to be the same exact system, but there has to be some kind of guardrails in place. And I agree. Even certain programs that do have big donors, you get 3 bad years where the players you buy don't pan out.
Right.
You're going to stop giving, right? Troy Aikman's talked about this a bunch because he gave money to UCLA. In all likelihood, that went to Dante Moore, who's now the quarterback at Oregon. He was completely pissed off by the whole process to the point where he refuses to give any more money. Joe Buck, the story just came out. I don't know if you saw this today. It was today or yesterday. Joe Buck, who's an Indiana alum, says he won't give just because of what happened to Troy Aikman. So I think there isn't enough to go around long term unless there's a process in place.
I just wonder because you start not winning like Alabama. I know they made it. They didn't make it as far as they used to. You start going to Alabama and they don't make it anymore. Then Kalen DeBoer and the guys go back to the donors and they're like, you got to do better than this.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I think this is what's in the end is going to cost more coaches jobs, right? Because if someone's writing these checks 3 years in a row, you're not making the playoff or you're not getting far enough in the playoff, we've given you all this money for the players, maybe the guy picking the players isn't doing the right thing. Yep. He's going to go.
It's going to get hotter and hotter. We're going to go to our playoff picks. I got 4 games. We're not going to pick 2. I'm going to pick 4. The 4 best ones, I think, against the number for some entertainment. Our playoff picks next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
If you're single, a young couple just starting out, or an empty nester, regular-sized loaves of bread just may be too much of a good thing. Now, thanks to Village Hearth Half Loaves, you can have just the right amount of fresh, delicious bread for toast and your favorite sandwiches. Village Hearth Half Loaves come in 5 flavorful varieties, including Dakota-style 12-grain, honey wheat, and premium white. You're sure to find the one that's just right. Village Hearth Half Loaves, the perfect size for 1 or 2.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence. Go with trust. Go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for snow tonight, otherwise overcast. Lows level off around 25, northwest winds around 5 miles per hour. 38 tomorrow, slight chance of snow. Slight chance of snow tomorrow night, lows level off around 24, partly cloudy skies. A dusting of snow tonight with another dusting Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 33.
On January 20th, we face a choice. A yes vote for smart growth that creates new revenue for a generation. Paid for by private businesses, not taxpayers. Smart growth funds our schools, roads, public good, and city needs, like our library. Tired of the noise? Get the facts at voteyesjan20.com. When you have the facts on your side, it is easy to see why you should vote yes. Again, get the facts. VoteYesJan20.com. Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Growth.
This January, it's Mount Moolah Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. All month long, you can secure your claim of over $45,000 in cash and prizes. Join us every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. till midnight for drawings and payout cash prizes starting at $300 and piling up to $1,000 at midnight. Be at Cadillac Jack's for the Mount Moolah Grand Prize Drawing, where we'll give away $9,000 in cash and prizes. It's Mount Moolah, only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Mr. Liquor in Rapid City would like to thank their customers for making last year an overwhelming success. Know that in 2026, Mr. Liquor will continue to provide the area's best selection of wine, spirits, and ice-cold beer with unmatched customer service. Look for even more exclusive Mr. Liquor barrel picks and rare allocated bourbons in the coming months. Plus, check out their Facebook page for monthly saving specials on your favorite brands. Thanks again for your business from Mr. Liquor South off Catron next to Walmart and Mr. Liquor West on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate.
All right, here we are on a Thursday and happy hour with Rob Keighron live in studio. It is the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. If you missed parts of the show, a reminder, you can catch this show on the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show, and then you've got this show. We cover in high school to college to the pros. Got you covered this week. Good stuff. It is time to do our NFL playoff picks. I am ready for some NFL playoff picks. I'm going to go 4 games, and I'm going to serve it up to Rob Keighron. I want to see which way you go. You already told me that you're thinking about going Patriots. So let's save that one for last. I don't want to break it to anybody. Let's start with Packers-Bears. And by the way, if the Packers lose, I had a listener text coming from a Packers fan. They say if they lose this at Chicago, Matt LaFleur could get fired?
I would not be shocked. Kind of similar to Harbaugh. Not been there as long, of course. But the fact of the matter is he's not been as successful as you would have thought, particularly in the playoffs. So I wouldn't, another one of these where I wouldn't get rid of him, but I wouldn't be shocked.
They said Harbaugh being out there now could be a hot seat for Matt LaFleur. So are the Packers going to win or lose at Chicago? Packers started out underdog. Now they're -1.
You know, this is a matchup very interesting. Obviously, they played twice in a very short period of time over the last month or so. But neither of these teams has been playing perfectly down the stretch. Probably Chicago a little bit better. Love was hurt. He will be there, of course. Very tough game to call. These divisional rematches, when they're playing for the third time, particularly when they played towards the end of the season twice, are very hard for me to pick. But I'm gonna trust Jordan Love a little more than I trust Caleb Williams in his playoff debut. And even though I really like Ben Johnson and I like what he's doing there, I think Caleb, the moment might be a hair too big for him, and I could see him making a mistake or two, and of ones that I don't think Jordan Love will make. I think Green Bay will kind of muck this game up a bit. I'm going to lay the point and take the Packers on the road.
Your points are strong, meaning I can't go with Caleb Williams. I know Ben Johnson's changed the whole thing. I understand the Bears are good. Still, that number shows 2-4 in the NFC North. 2-4 against the NFC North. Can't do it. Packers -1. I am going Packers, even though they're not great. Well, they went up and down and around, but Packers are going to win at Chicago. I think the big game lights are on. Caleb Williams might be crying after the game. We've seen that before. Let's go with the Bills at the Jaguars. Bills are now favored by 1. Jacksonville's the 3 seed. I'll tell you where I'm at on it. I love Josh Allen. I love my guy. I think the Jaguars are scary. At home, give me Jacksonville. The defense is good. Trevor Lawrence has been playing really well. Jaguars, money line, going to beat the Bills. It's all over.
Nate, this might be the toughest game, I think, of all of them to pick, because I think you make a great point. Lawrence has played great. He's certainly played way better under Liam Cohen this year, the new coach, than he ever did in years past. But again, and I know the Bills' defense is terrible, and I get it. But if not now, Josh Allen, when? No Mahomes.
It's over.
No Lamar. None of the Blue Bloods. No Joe Burrow.
The Bills aren't.
If not now, Josh, when?
Bills
Take
aren't
the
good.
Bills, lay the point, making a run towards the Super Bowl.
They are not good enough, and we will find out. By the way, if the Bills lose, that's the other one. If the Bills lose, McDermott, is he out?
If they think that they can get Harbaugh, wouldn't you get rid of McDermott to bring Harbaugh in with Josh Allen? McDermott has shown that he can't win these big playoff games. I think McDermott is in big trouble if they lose in round 1.
I do as well. 49ers, Eagles. Eagles? Favored like this? What's the deal? Nobody believes in the 49ers anymore. It's +5 at Philly? What are you thinking?
The Eagles, I think because they've been so inconsistent this year, people forget that they are the defending Super Bowl champs, and they did win the Super Bowl very convincingly against Mahomes and Kansas City. But you're right. 5 points is a bit too much for a team that has been erratic offensively. Now, defense has been good.
5 points?
Defense has been good, but San Francisco is well coached. Purdy manages these games well, has played well in road playoff games. It's too many points, and even though I think Philly might win, I'm going to take the 5 points with San Francisco.
I'm same there. I don't know what's going on. They think the Eagles are that much better than the 49ers. That game against the Seahawks just scared everybody, I guess. A bad loss at home, maybe that's the story. But I'm going to go Eagles to win, but I would take 5 in a playoff game with the 49ers, so I would go +5 with the 49ers, just like our last game of the night. Chargers +3.5. It's the biggest play of the day for Nate Brown. Chargers +3.5. Lock it. The Patriots are fool's gold. Mike Vrabel talks tough. It's going to be tough this weekend.
I don't get it, Nate. I don't get what you see that I don't see. I mean, Justin Herbert is a bit hurt still. His offensive line is awful. He's been sacked so many times all season, and he has a bunch of guys that are hurt on the offensive line.
Yes.
And they're going on the road all the way across the country. And Sunday night, New England is a tough place to play as it is. No, you're not convincing me. And it's not my play of the day, but it is absolutely -3.5. New England will win. Book it. And they will win by a touchdown.
Going to be a long day at Drake May, and everybody that wants Drake May to lead them in the postseason, going to have a tough night this weekend. Enjoy the playoffs. Have a great weekend. The Nate Brown Show for Rob Keighron. The podcast going up right now. See ya.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just